to Enthusiastic Learner. In today's video, we are going to discuss about factual description class 10th with notes, explanation and examples. So let's dig in. So guys, as we all know that the factual description may appear to you as very tough, but it is not actually. So what actually factual description is? Factual description is a piece of writing that presents an accurate and detailed objective information about a person, place, object, event or process. So it avoids personal opinions. So always try to avoid your personal opinions, your any feelings or judgment, right? So it is a factual description. Now as the name suggests, factual means talking about the facts, so you must not give any information that is not related to facts, but that is very very based on assumptions, or can be thought as a writing that is very subjective. So don't try to elaborate or keep those points in your description. Now talking about its key features, so it must contain objectivity. That is, I discussed with you earlier that no personal feeling, judgment, opinions should be given in a factual description. Now it should contain facts and only observations. Like after you are done with all the facts, you could write some of the observation about that particular place, events or any person, right? But does it should not contain anyhow any judgment, any personal feeling, right? Now second feature it has is it should be detail oriented. Now what does it mean by detail oriented? It should contain specific facts and figures and observations, like mm, type of marble that is used, or the area in which it has been spread. So basically, if I'm not including the facts and figures in my observation, my factual description would not be a good description, right? So it should contain facts and observation, and there should be a sequential manner that we are going to discuss in the next point. So facts should be written but in a sequential manner, and it gives more depth to the description, right? Sequential order. A factual description must contain sequential order. Now what does actually it mean is that it should contain general facts with specific facts. For example, if I am describing a person, I will include his or her height, his hair color, eye color, etc. Now talking about the facial features. Now everyone does. There are chances that two people who can have brown eye color, black hair color, height 6 feet. Both the men can have, but the facial features will not be same in the both person, right? So specific information includes the specific detailing, like a sharp nose, right? Double chinned or something like that. So the special features, the specific features must be written after the general uh, one are done. Okay, talking about the clarity is the most important part of the factual description. You must have the clarity in your description with the simple and the precise language. Now what does the simple and precise language actually mean? Simple means that the language should not contain very heavy words that is very difficult to understand. At the same time, the language should be precise. Now the language should not be that much elaborating that it is turning the words round and round to make to make one single thing told in a different ways, right? So you should have the precise language with the simple and appropriate words. Now sometimes students feels that if they will be using a good vocabulary, a heavy word in in their description, it would appear more better as a description. But you need to understand that if you are using a very heavy word, if you are using a very difficult word to elaborate a particular situation or a thing, it might not be very appropriate for that same thing or the event. So please make sure the word you are using must be appropriate. So your focus should always be on the exact use of word, apart from using making it very heavy and making it very difficult for the readers to understand, right? So clarity is very important part of the factual description. Talking about the creativity, so the factual description is talking about the facts, but it should be engaging. Now when we say that it is factual, so it will be very boring or it will be very monotonous. So it should not be in the case of the factual description. As you are telling the factual description about a person, place or an event or anything, you must write it in an engaging way so that the reader should get to the passage throughout it end. So basically they should read it, they should not leave the paragraph in the middle feeling it very boring or very not interesting at all. So that is the important part as well. Now talking about the format, so introduction, it is the basic line, like basic intro of the thing that you are describing. So for example, if you are given this is a very simple example, now I am not giving here very difficult example here for the practice. If you are done with the basics, then you can start with the difficult ones that we will discuss later in the another video, or when you are done with the basics, right? So taking a very simple example of the Red Fort. Now if you are not mentioning the Red Fort as the historical monument, you are simply mentioning it as a building, now it doesn't sound better, or neither it is correct. So you should give proper introduction to the subject which is given to you. If it is about a phone, if it is about a flower pot, so you should give specific details. You should give the introduction that it is a flower pot, it is very beautiful, made with the clay or some type of handwork. So whatever is the basic intro of that object or the person, you should be giving it at first. Talking about the body, so the body is the main part of the factual description. What does it present? So the body presents the detail in a logical order. So you must have details in a logical order in your body. You should contain physical features in the body of the paragraph. So it must contain the size, shape and the appearance of that object or the person, right? And if any historical or the background information is needed, you must give that. So historical background means, like if I'm talking about Red Fort, then I should give the historical background to it. But if any other background information, like for example, as I gave you the example of flower pot, so like you can mention that it was gifted to me by my best friend or something. So that is not an opinion, but that is a type of background information that you can conclude, and it makes your factual description, like I said, more engaging, not monotonous at all, because reading all the facts does not sound as much as engaging as it appears. So giving background information make your paragraph more engaging to the viewers, to the readers, right? Now talking about the function and the significance, now as I mentioned that you should mention the function and the significance. Now function and significance are not that are not those things like you are mentioning your own opinions. For example, as I gave you the example of phone, like Android phone. So for example, I am using a Xiaomi phone. So the functions that are in that particular phone, or that particular uh, any type of mechanical thing like washing machine, so the functions will not be changed. Either I like it or not, the functions will be same. So if I write the functions, it would add more detailed depth to my paragraph. And if there is something like a red fort or like a person, then I should write the significance. Now function and the significance are both very different things. Now if I am writing about the red fort, I will be writing its significance, not the function. So this is the thing you should always remember. Talking about the special characteristic, now everything, every object has some special characteristic, that one unique characteristic that makes it apart, that makes it different from others. That is called the special characteristic. If you're talking about one person, like for example, there are many factual description that is given in the questions in the board examination about a very famous personality. Now there are many cricketers like Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni and all that. But if you are writing a factual description about Virat Kohli, you will include a special characteristic at the end of your paragraph, like before the conclusion. So special characteristic will not be same in all the cricketers. So you will write one line or two line about the special characteristic that you find in Virat Kohli. So special characteristic makes your paragraph more looking more better and very distinguishable to other students who are not including these points, right? Now talking about the final and the last last thing that you must include in the factual description is the conclusion. Now after concluding all these things, what you will write, that overall, like if it is about a flower pot, overall the flower pot is very amazing, it is very eye catching and it is attractive, right? So overall ये बहुत अच्छा है product. So जो भी सामान या जो भी person है, overall he is a very good cricketer and very sensational person who is source of inspiration for many youth and young cricketers, right? So basically concluding part should include the conclusion, like in a positive way. So after writing all these things, your paragraph is very good, and I am 110% sure that if you write this way, you will get full marks in your factual description. Talking about some do's and don'ts that students usually make, so let's dig into it. Um some of the do's are: you should be objective, as I mentioned earlier, so stick to the facts, avoid personal opinions, observe carefully. Now if you are talking about particular object, you should be a good observer. So you should mention its size, its color, its shape, date, location, from where you brought it. So you should be a good observer and you should mention all these facts. Next is the organize logically. Now if you are talking about anything which is and mentioning the facts, you are mentioning the least important fact at first and most important facts at last. It won't sound good, it won't look good at all. So you must remember this thing, that presentation of the information is very important, from general facts to going to the specific facts about that particular object is very helpful as well as very scoring. Talking about the clear another point, so use of clear language. The language should be precise, as I mentioned earlier. The sentence and should be very factual, at the same time very engaging to the uh, reader. So you must have a clear language, but at the same time it should be very precise. Now staying with the word limit is one of the most important point in the factual description, that you cannot go on writing it and elaborating it and so on and so on if you are very good at that particular writing, a piece of writing, right? So you must conclude or everything in 100 to 150 words in your exams. That will give you a good marks. But if you go on writing 200 to 50 words, that will on the other hand cut your marks. So basically you have to stick to your word limits. Adding variety, use different sentences structure, avoid monotony. So basically don't try to write in a particular manner throughout the paragraph. So use different sentences, use slightly different words which are very appropriate at the same time, but very engaging. Looks, the paragraph should look like a piece of writing which has been written in a very beautiful manner. So you should add variety to your paragraph. Now talking about the final and the last point of do's is the proofread. Now you must check your grammar, your spelling, your punctuation before finalizing, right? So there are chances that you must have done any of the mistake in the paragraph while you were writing. So there are chances, so you should proofread it, and you will realize that what the reader will understand with the first glance of after reading the paragraph. So you must correct all these mistakes before finally submitting it to the teacher. Okay. Talking about the don'ts. Now these are the very important point that usually students make. So don't first number one don't is that don't add opinions. As I mentioned earlier, it is very beautiful, I feel, I think. These words make the paragraph more opinionative, at the same time adds judgment, adds personal feelings and opinions. So please avoid these words. Don't over exaggerate. Like there is written exaggerate, but I would say that what you think is as exaggeration is actually over exaggeration. So stick to the fact. Like don't dramatize, don't try to invent details, like writing anything that you think is better for the from the perspective of description. So don't over exaggerate. Don't be vague, which means that don't avoid general statement, like it is nice, it is big. These words doesn't make your factual description as good as you think. Now don't repeat. Like don't restate this same detail in multiple ways, like as I mentioned earlier. Don't try to exaggerate, or don't try to elaborate things again and again using different molding the words and sentences again and again. That would make your paragraph look very very I won't say even simple, even worse. Like it could have been better, but using of the same detailing again in a multiple ways makes the paragraph less scoring. So please avoid that. Don't use slang like informal language. So keep the tone formal and academic. So it makes the uh, paragraph looking more better, and like a keep the formal tone. So it makes the paragraph more better to read, and more scoring at the same time. Don't skip key details. So missing important facts in description makes the paragraph incomplete. So whether you think that writing about the size is not very that much important, that will make your paragraph incomplete. So please avoid that. Finally, don't write like a story, because it is a factual description. It is informational. So not, it should not be narrative. So don't try to write no it add like a story, like a describing way, so that it looks more like a story, not like a factual description. So I hope it is helping you. We are going to look at some of the examples right now. Examples right now. These examples are very basic, but at the same time very important from exam point of view, because in many school examination and half yearly examination, or in the final examination as well, we see questions asking these type of topics. Like there are some changes, like there can be few changes in the question, but almost this type of question are seen in examination. So let just dive into it. While I have just if you want to practice it yourself, so please stop the video here and just try to write the answers on your own, and then check that how you are writing, right? So I have done some of the questions below, so you can just take a look after you have done your answer, and then you can just match that what points have you done, and what are the things that you missed out. So that will really gonna help you, because you will analyze your paragraph yourself, and this will help you to analyze that what point you should include in your factual description, right? So let's dive into it. Although all questions are not covered in this video, so I hope that the left question will be attempted by you guys, and you will let me know that how you have just practiced these questions, and how much you have understood from this video, and how much this video has helped you. So that would be a really good feedback for me. So please do write me in the comment sections below. So looking at some of the examples, first factual description is your school building. So writing I will, if I will just explain each and every factual description, the video will get too long to be just seen. So I will just explain you one example, and I would like that after that you can just take the screenshot and read yourself to analyze that what points I have included in the answer. Although the answer is very basic, because this is for all those students who are just learning the factual description, but yeah, at the same time they're very correct. So please make sure that you just read and go through them, and after that you just practice yourself. Looking at the first example, your school building. So in this paragraph, I have, look how I have wrote things clearly. Now my school building is a three-story structure painted in cream and white. It has spacious classroom with large windows and for ventilation. So I am giving the information, I am giving the fact, but in such a manner that it look more engaging to the reader, right? So the ground floor houses the principal office, staff room, and the reception. The library and the laboratories are on the second floor, equipped with modern facilities. The top floor has the auditorium for cultural events. Now I am mentioning each and everything like a fact, but every line has different fact, right? So I have not written anything that is molding the word or the sentences and just keep repeating things. So please avoid this thing in your answer. There are chances that your there are 110% chances that your answer will never match to mine, but still you just read them and analyze them, that how the body is written, how the like intro is written, how the conclusion is written. So each part is how each part is developed and mentioned in the paragraph. So that is the point you should always remember. Talking about another line, the top floor has the auditorium for the cultural events. The building is surrounded by green lawn and the playground. Next corridor and clean washrooms add to its organized look. It is well maintained and provide a perfect environment for learning. So you can see that I have done. It is such a small paragraph, 1 or 150 words, but it contains information, and the informations are very written in a precise and a clear manner. I haven't used any difficult words, but appropriate word to mention the facts. So these are the points you must remember while writing a factual description. I hope you like the video. If so, please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon so you never miss an update. And moving to question number 2, 3, 4th, and so on, so that you can take screenshot and just read them after the video. So it would be very helpful for you. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon. Okay.